Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters and Craig Morgan on a Friday, but I'm not going to say Friday. Oh, you said it, not me. Don't want to get
it's trademarked.
A trademark.
Sorry.
A cease and desist letter from the
PHNX
PHNX Sun Devil show.
Let's be honest, it's not trademarked.
I don't know.
They never went to an attorney.
Well,
that's fair.
Alas, we are going to have fun regardless because it's Friday.
So I've heard.
We have some things in store that Craig doesn't even know about. We're going to just talk about our weekends. We're going to talk about nonsense, but we're also going to talk about some hockey because there was some really exciting playoff games last night. And I mean, let's just dive right into it. And let's start with the Battle of Alberta because that's the most recent thing on people's minds.
Dip our toe into that one. Oh, did I say that? That's horrible.
Oh my! Did you
off to a bad
you
start.
Slide your foot in a stopping motion into
literally
this one?
Offside. Wait, that's the other game. Yeah, that was my segue to the other game.
Oh, save it for the other one. Well, last night the Edmonton Oilers defeated the Calgary Flames to clinch the series and move on to the Western Conference Final in overtime for, by the way, their 5th straight Game 5 overtime. That's a fun little stat. But also on a controversial non-call for the Flames. What a night. I don't even know where to begin in this game, but maybe just overall thoughts, and then we can get into some of the particulars.
Probably. I mean, that's the thing that people are going to be talking about. Other than, I feel like hockey players need to have goal songs instead of the same goal song all the time.
Agree.
And like when McDavid scores now, I think Angels should sing. That should be. Yeah, that should be it.
I love it.
Because he's been that good in this postseason. But to me, I know there's a lot of controversy about that disallowed goal. I didn't have a problem with the call. I got to be honest. I thought he definitely stuck his foot out. And people are like, oh, it's a stopping motion. You're not trying to stop right as you're hitting the post. No, he put his foot out to try and push the puck into the net. But now, whether you should be allowed to do that, since you can score a lot of other ways, that's another discussion. But I didn't have a problem. It wasn't the most egregious missed call that I have seen in this postseason or in past postseasons. I'll put it that way.
See, I think it should have been a goal, and maybe it wasn't a stop, but it also wasn't a kicking motion either. It was just he was moving. He was just moving, and like you said on Twitter, last night, the puck was going to go in anyway.
That's the hardest part. That's got to be the hardest part to swallow for Calgary fans. That puck was going in.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like he deflected it in with his foot, and if his foot wasn't there, you can make that argument. But I don't know. I think it should have been a goal, and I think Petey agrees.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I'm putting myself in the shoes of both teams. I'm trying to think, what would I feel like? Again, I go back to the rule is a distinct kicking motion, like a soccer-style kick. That was how it was explained from the league to the teams. That's not what occurred here. Does he purposefully kick the puck into the net? I think he does. I do. I don't think it's a stopping motion. I think he clearly is kicking the puck. But I don't think it's a distinct soccer-style kicking motion. I don't. I have a problem with it being disallowed. I listened to Brian Boucher, who was calling the game last night, and he came back from him, and he said, the league must have seen it differently, so I'm just going to say, I guess the league must have seen it differently. So they think it's disallowed. The greater point is what happens if he doesn't go in there to go after it. Does it bounce in? Does it go Calgary's way? And now we're getting ready for the next game.
You saw the overhead, right? You
Yeah,
saw the direction of the puck, and it was moving at good pace.
I think it's going in.
It's going in the net.
I mean, we've seen stranger things happen, but you think it is. But let's say it like it is.
To what's coming later.
This is the Calgary Flames team that wins the division, has a 2-goal lead in this game, and they've had leads throughout this series. Can't hold the lead, can't stop the puck, can't defend. The right team's moving on here.
Yeah, no argument there.
If you take the regular season into account, the Calgary is by far the better team. And we all sat in this studio a week ago saying Calgary's going to blow through Edmonton.
Yeah.
We're going to say the same thing in the next series, St. Louis or Colorado. We're going to say we're going to blow through Edmonton.
The variable that we didn't consider, and I know we talked about Evander Kane scoring 12 goals, but there's a reason he's scoring 12 goals because he's playing with that guy. Can you make that sound again? Because I can't do it. There it is.
Yeah,
I didn't know what he could do to elevate his game. You know, I've seen him in past postseasons. He's been very good. Well, actually, there have been some postseasons where he's actually been shut down a bit. And Leon Draisaitl has been the most productive player on the team. But in this postseason, nobody's on his level. Nobody is on his level. And this is really what it's going to take for this very flawed team to make this kind of deep run. He has to put them on his back and take his game to a level where no one else can follow on the opposition, and that's what he's done through 2 rounds.
If you want to beat the Edmonton Oilers in these playoffs, you can't make a mistake in your own defensive zone. And I mean, you have to defend as 5, and everybody has to do the right thing. If you make a mistake, they are too quick, too skilled, too talented, and they end up putting the puck in the back of the net. And that's been the problem here, is that I watched the series, it was always one person making the mistake. It was always, oh, they did a great job defending this, but oh shit, they missed the net front. And it just went on and on like that for the entire series. Calgary just never found an answer. And I keep saying it. You go back to Pee Wee hockey, put somebody on him, shadow him, skate with him. And I know you can't keep up with Connor McDavid. He is literally faster than any other player on the planet. You just have to get between him and the net, period. And you'll have to wait to see how the other teams defend him in the next series. I think there were points in this series where he wasn't as effective. And when I mean points, I mean for one particular shift or another, not for any longer stretches than that. Calgary just couldn't sustain that type of defending. They just weren't quick enough. And then all they wanted to do was try to get the puck in close to Mike Smith. Let's get in tight to the net. You watch so many mistakes, and even the winning goal last night, how poorly Calgary defended that goal. And it starts with Johnny Hockey on the wall. He's going right at Draisaitl.
Thank you.
Turns away. Wait, where
turned
the away?
Going? And it was Hanifin, right? That it was a soft dump up the boards too. But I think he thought, okay, I'm going to put this up to Johnny. Johnny doesn't even battle.
No,
he doesn't even battle. He just gave up on the play.
So here's an issue when you talk about Patrick Kane and that type of player, and I put Johnny in that basket. His job in defending in that zone, his job is to defend the point. That's his job, is defend the blue line. His job isn't to defend the half wall. When you write it on paper, he's supposed to defend. But you are less than a stick length away from. You close on Leon Draisaitl. You put your stick on his stick. Leon's bigger, stronger. All of those things are true, but you put the stick on his stick, and you start there, and you let somebody else fill in for you up top. Somebody else fills in. So then he goes to the point. Well, then the next 2 Calgary players both go to Draisaitl. Hanifin's in the corner with McDavid. So where do you go? Stay with McDavid.
Don't leave McDavid alone.
Take McDavid to the net. Let's both go to Draisaitl, and let's leave the best player in the world all alone.
And neither of them stop the pass
in overtime.
So, like all these just errors compounded. At least stop the pass from getting.
When we go back to defending, you have to defend better than that.
Yep.
And that's why you go flip it over to the other series. The Carolina Hurricanes are absolutely smothering the New York Rangers. The line of Zibanejad, Kreider, and Vetrano had one shot 5-on-5 between the entire line. Yeah. And that's the leading scorer of the team with over 50 goals this season. He didn't have a shot in 2 of the 3 games in Carolina. That's how you defend. And they start defending from their own offensive zone. I've said that before about how when Edmonton is in their defensive zone, you still can defend McDavid even though you're on offense. That's what Carolina did to Zibanejad and Kreider. Even when they're attacking the Ranger net, they're still close enough to attack and strike quickly. If it gets that far, Carolina will have an answer. Carolina is the team that can defend them. Is it Colorado or is it St. Louis in the next round? I'm done. I'm done guessing.
Done trying to guess.
Yeah, I'm done.
We're all 0-2 in this round.
Yeah,
right?
we're doing awful.
Did you have something else to add on this series?
Yeah, what was funny to me was after the game when they interviewed Connor McDavid, he said, "Oh yeah, I wasn't very good tonight," and he scored the overtime winner. And then I don't know if you saw, but the NHL posted. Are you taking a selfie?
I am
while we're live.
I am. I was going to.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, you can. Sure.
It's social.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Where's your stick?
we're pausing the show to take a selfie.
I tell you who it is though, and this is why. It was the video guy for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's calling me right now. I'm trying to find out, get some tidbits on the line.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, there's your insider info. What I was gonna say was, I don't know if you saw the video that the NHL posted this morning, but I've never seen Connor McDavid look so happy, giddy. Yeah. Like it almost, his smile and his reaction and how he was yelling on the ice, it was almost like you were watching the weight lift off of his shoulders in real time.
I think that happened in this round.
It
where
really
changed
did.
For him.
Yeah.
And now it's just, All the rest is icing on the cake. It's just
gravy.
fun
Now you've
now.
made your deep run.
Yeah.
You've
You
done
did
it,
what you
and
had to
now,
do.
but also he's found a way to just take over games, and it's so much harder in hockey, right, to be able to dominate at that level because you're rolling 4 lines. You're rolling more people on the ice. It's not the NBA where one guy can take over a game consistently. It's much harder, and yet he's doing it. It's so cool to watch him on the stage. We've waited for this for a really long time. We're still waiting on Austin Matthews. But it's really good to see Connor McDavid get a chance to shine on the playoff stage. This is good for hockey. Again, sorry to those of you who hate all other teams, but this is good for hockey to see Connor McDavid make a deep run.
And I have one more note on this series before we go to the other series, but Mike Smith is back in the Western Conference Final.
10 years later.
10 years later.
Who would have taken that bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app 10 years ago? Oh, he'll be back in the Western Finals again. There's no chance he would have taken it. Nobody would have taken that bet.
Good for him.
He's earned it. He's been better in this series
than Markstrom,
I gave him credit for. He's better than Markstrom head-to-head.
Completely melted down in the playoffs.
And he was the better goalie in the first round, too.
Yeah.
He's playing extremely well. And not only is he, we talked about it the last show, not only is he stopping the puck, he's become a factor offensively that you're going to have to plan for when you're playing against the Edmonton Oilers.
When we talk about the Flames and you talk about their inability to defend well, does that surprise you for a Daryl Sutter coach team? We know what his teams did with the Kings. That was their bread and butter.
Yeah,
they defended well.
Smothered teams.
Mike Smith got revenge on Daryl Sutter too.
What the heck? And what does that mean for Daryl Sutter's future? That Calgary's out in the second round.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Especially after they dominated in the regular season and win the division, and thought they were a force to be reckoned with. And we sat there and thought about the Calgary-Colorado Western Finals. We all talked about it. And it's just a different style of hockey. And when we talked about Edmonton, it's always been about the skill and the speed. And we said, well, they're not deep enough, and that skill and speed doesn't always work in the playoffs because there's not enough room. Well, they're creating their space now. Adding Kane really helped add that extra piece that I think they really needed offensively. Definitely. I tell you what, if Colorado can get by St. Louis, and that's a huge if right now, that's going to be a hell of a series. Like that is not a foregone, oh, Colorado wins that in 4. Like I would have, if you would have told me before it was them in the finals, I'd say, no. Yeah. Colorado's going to roll them. I don't know.
McDavid and Draisaitl 1 step away from the Cup final.
And let's say
they're going to be dialed in.
McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kane against Darcy Kemper playing the way Darcy Kemper's playing right now.
He hasn't been great either.
Exciting. It's fun.
Huh. Here we go.
It's
Sorry.
good hockey. No, you're totally fine. Well, let's move to that Eastern game. The Carolina Hurricanes, who I like to call the Carolina Coyotes, since there's so many former Coyotes on that team, are up a game against the New York Rangers and can close it out in Game 6. Unfortunately for them, Game 6 is on the road, and they are yet to win on the road in this postseason. Thoughts on that game?
Well, I think Jordan Martin, who came back in the lineup last night, he's been hurt. He brought a little spark to their lineup.
Marty Martinuk.
That grit, that digging in. They have a little bit of that. They defend well, but he just added a little more grit to their game. I'm wrong all the time. Like if they can play that way in Madison Square Garden, the Rangers have no chance.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't been able to do that. And you talk about keeping Stahl up against the Zibanejad line. I mean, that's kind of was the narrative of the game last night. It worked. And if Gallant got Zibanejad out early, it was a quick line change. Brind'Amour matched it live during play, switched it up, and got Stahl out there. Stahl's line was better. They were just better. They were quicker. They defended better with sticks. They're the best defending team left in the playoffs right now, the Carolina Hurricanes. Does that propel them? I don't know. They can't win on the road.
Yeah, it's weird that they can't win on the
Haven't
road.
won a game on the road.
It's bizarre.
And we've said this, same thing when we talked about Colorado. Once they said, well, Colorado hasn't gotten by the second round. All of these things get in your head. And the more they're talked about and written about, and when the more you see them in Twitter and in the media, you can say it doesn't distract you, but it's real. You can't help it from getting into your subconscious. Carolina has not won a game on the road. Do you think they've heard that over and over and over? Of course they
finally
have.
scored on the power play, though.
They finally got their power play goal, and they finally were able to get through a seam through the box, which they haven't been able to do this whole series. I think the Rangers have hope because they've been able to win at home. So I think the Rangers come into Madison Square Garden thinking they have a chance. The key to that game is watch who scores first. If Carolina can score first, they can shut it down. And they're really, really good at protecting a lead.
Mm-hmm.
So if Carolina can get the first goal on this one, it's going to be hard for the Rangers to battle back. That's what I think.
I'm with Biz.
The food.
Be happy, Ranger fans, because it ain't going to be this sweet next season.
Biz
You're not
is
that good.
so anti-Rangers.
You're not that good. I'm not really not. I
No,
don't mind it
Biz-
when the Rangers are. Oh, he is crazy anti-Ranger.
I think they did a lot of good things. I think the addition of Kopp and Vetrano at the trade deadline helped them to get to where they are now.
Yeah, that's cute.
Their
Never should
goaltending
have been Pittsburgh.
Their goaltending is the
Wouldn't
best.
have. It wasn't that good against Pittsburgh.
Are they a
at
playoff
home.
team next year? The
Yeah, I think they're a playoff.
The problem with the East is good,
Yeah.
but it's also really bad. Like the division between the good and the bad teams is pretty
right, like massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if the Islanders get back in the mix,
Yeah,
but
the
any
Islanders
other
may.
team there, no.
and so that's
It's
where
like
you
9
look at, are
teams.
they a playoff team? Probably are again, and it's you beat up on some of the lower teams. They're not ready to win some of those lower teams, and it's going to be another year of that. So I think the Rangers are still a playoff team. Shesterkin needs to play lights out again, and they're
That's
going
the
to have to
thing.
get the first goal of the game.
You can't sustain that level of goaltending over a career. You can't.
Statistically,
Nobody's done it.
No, but maybe it'll help the Rangers moving forward, knowing what they need to acquire to
Okay,
have playoff success.
last
Centers?
question on that series. If
They're hard to
Carolina
find.
gets through. And if they do get through, they're clearly going to do it on the shoulders of Antti Ranta. Do you go into the Eastern Conference Finals
Ooh.
with Frederik Andersen healthy and make a change?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought in the
don't
second
know.
round, I said absolutely. I said if Frederik Andersen is ready in one of the first 3 games in this series, you have to make the change because worst case, you go back to Ranta right away and it's only game 1, 2, or 3. Now you're in the Eastern Finals.
Yep. That's tough. He's
It's
been off a
tough.
while, but it's Tampa.
We got to get him to
and
play
it's-
though. If you want to win the cup, don't you think you're going to need him at some point? I think
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
I think you do, at least in game 1. And
Although-
like,
If he's ready,
Ronta's numbers are really
phenomenal.
good.
His numbers at home are absolutely.
I will keep
phenomenal.
preaching this.
His
Telling
When
you.
the
goals average is
guy's
under
in
1.
goal, he's elite.
look at these former Coyote
He is,
goalies.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it could be 3 of the 4 starting goalies in the
Would be a great
remaining
That'd be
playoffs could all
awesome.
be Coyotes.
It's a
It would
great
be
story for someone to write.
Maybe you
Jesus.
can read it at
I
gophnx.com.
wonder who that's going to be.
Well, speaking of the third Coyotes goalie, game 6 tonight, Colorado, St. Louis. Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Avs. They've been perfect on the road. I know they collapsed in that last game. I think they'll respond. I think they'll win this game. But if they don't, again, I've been saying St. Louis is my dark horse all along. It wouldn't surprise
but
me.
this
And
isn't-
there's doubt now, like Petey brought up
Yeah.
the last show. There's doubt now.
This is game 6 of the second round of the playoffs. This isn't. There's no like. If St. Louis wins this game, you're not coming in tomorrow going, "Oh my gosh, there's no way they would have won." There's like this isn't a surprise anymore. We've seen St. Louis compete. We've seen St. Louis battle back. We've seen
I
Colorado's
expected this
defending.
series to go to at least 6, I think.
I think St. Louis finds a way to do it at home.
Really?
Cool.
I think we're going to
sevens are
Game
cool.
7. I think we're going to
I like
Game 7
sevens. I hope we have 2 of them.
at the ball
And
what?
Tampa's just sitting
Ball
there.
arena.
Arena.
Tampa's just sitting there,
Just
resting up.
resting up.
Tampa's already
getting
gone on
healthy.
vacation. They've been back. They just had a new training camp. That's how long they've been off.
I gotta say it. I'm rooting for a three-peat now. Now that
Yeah.
they've done what they've done,
And we talk
Hasn't
about that
happened
on the
in-
next show.
almost 40 years.
We talk about this
Be
rest
so
that they've
cool.
had. Is the
Yeah.
rest good or bad? Because Carolina and the Rangers could be playing 7, and
And
playing.
Carolina and the Rangers just played 7 in the first round.
Yeah. So is it an advantage to continue playing, or is it an advantage to rest? Coaches that are resting say it's better to rest. Coaches the teams are still in it say it's better to stay rolling.
If Tampa wins, if they win the cup again,
Yes.
if they three-peat, it'd be the first time since the Islanders in the early 80s.
Okay.
What's their place in NHL history? We've seen some recent dynasties. The Blackhawks won 3 and 7. The Penguins won 3. There's a little bigger spread for Sidney Crosby between Cup 1 and then 2 and 3. Now Tampa's
Will there
at
be an
2.
asterisk?
Because of the
One
the
was bubble, 2 was shortened season with different divisions,
I don't
different
know. I mean,
paths.
do you
to
put
the
an
cup.
asterisk on the Blackhawks for the same reason? Because they played a lockout.
I don't.
I don't think
I
there
don't
should
think
be
so.
an asterisk, but I think that it puts the Lightning in the same boat as the Penguins and the Blackhawks of the last 15
To win
years.
3 straight is so hard.
I know.
So hard.
They've got agreed.
but they played fewer games.
They're halfway there. Like they've got a long way to go.
I said it was the caveat was if they win.
Yeah. It's absolutely as impressive. Probably, I don't want to say more so in the salary cap area, but that's definitely something that you have to consider.
Yeah, because you got to keep rotating that bottom six. And, the third pair.
And I'd have to go back.
The right mix.
I don't recall the Islanders rosters of the 80s. I know, surprise, surprise. But were they able to maintain everybody for the entire stretch? I don't know. I think it's something, as we approach this, I think it's something we need to look at because one of the things Tampa has been able to do, yes, they've kept their core, but they've always been able to supplant a couple of new players into that lineup.
Yep.
I mean, whether it's Corey Perry this year or Bellemare.
Who's been amazing.
You've had to have that additional change in your lineup just because of the salary cap.
Caleb said, truest dynasty through the craziest circumstances, and they should have had 2 more. So.
The Lightning?
Yeah. We'll see. I think you mean the Lightning, Caleb. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm currently looking at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So for tomorrow's game, the Hurricanes and the Rangers, their money line is they're minus 110 each. So it's complete pick 'em. That'll be interesting to see how that evolves in the next 24 hours. But for tonight, even though the Avalanche are on the road, they are minus 165 favorites going into St. Louis. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. The over set at 6.5, which is a little bit higher than normal. Usually it's about 5.5.
Yeah. We didn't even plan that.
The two of you today are just killing me. Anyway, the draft.
Yeah.
I'm curious if
DraftKings.
Sean's DraftKings pick of the week is going to be hockey or something else. Sean.
Of course it's going to be hockey.
Okay.
Because
this is a hockey show. We don't talk about.
By the way,
like
he's been
softball on
fired.
this show,
so
do we?
No,
listen to Sean, not me.
You know what tonight is, right? It is Game 5 of the Edmonton Oil Kings series against the
Look
Winnipeg
at
Ice.
you going to the WHL.
That's what he did last week, and he nailed it.
The Edmonton Oil Kings are currently up 3-1 in that series.
Dylan Gunther, the only Coyotes prospect still playing.
They have a chance to close the series out tonight. And I'm going to predict them to do exactly that. Their puck line is they're minus 1.5 at plus 175. So their money line is like minus 170. So I don't think there's a whole lot of value in that. But I think I could see them winning the game, getting a little puck line Jesus, maybe an empty net goal late in the game, and then
Are they home or away?
It's Game 5.
It's away. Oh no, it's home because they do 2-3-2. Yeah, they're home.
Yeah. It's
close it
Winnipeg
out
at
on home
Edmonton,
ice.
So
okay.
I like them to cover the puck line. Well, Charles says a little spicy dill action.
All right, I love it. Well, Sean's been on a heater with his DraftKings picks of the week. So if you want to tell Sean, you can do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, or you can throw some money on tonight's NHL game, tomorrow's game, or the NBA playoffs. So be sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use the promo code PHNX when you sign up. Bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. And right now, all customers, including existing customers, can place a same-game parlay with 3 or more legs and get a free bet back up to $25 if one leg doesn't hit. So that's code PHNX. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game. Get $150 in free bets if they do. That's 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Before we get into our next segment, Petey, I know you wanted to talk a little softball.
Yeah, I'm excited about.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's softball season.
This is
it's the Super Regionals. Super Regionals.
Wait, so we're talking Sun Devil softball, I assume, right, Sean?
Of course, the only team that really matters.
Well,
Tell you what,
I'm looking at Petey's laptop and he has the U of A.
U of A
score.
Wildcats right now are at their last gasp in Game 1 against Mississippi State. Top of the 7th inning, trailing 2-1 at their last at bat in the 7th.
Mute button, Sean. Mute button.
2-1. But between ASU and U of A, there's a lot to root for. And if you haven't gotten into the softball vibe before, I'm not doing this because of PHNX. I perennially watch the softball regionals, super regionals, and World Series. They are, as my friend Sean would say, they are electric. Like, to watch the intensity of these games. And I tell you what, softball, more than any other sport I've ever witnessed, they have fun.
Camaraderie.
The what is going on in the dugout?
Hear it. Yes, it's awesome.
It's just they're having fun. Win, lose, draw, they're in it together and they're having fun. So if you haven't been a part of the Softball World Series in the past, sincerely tune in. It's on all of the ESPN networks all weekend long, and ASU is on tonight at 5. They need to win 2 out of 3 to move to the World Series. So tune in, and then right after the game, tune in to the clowns at the ASU show.
It's a fun show.
It is a lot of
seriously,
fun.
Trisha Ford getting it done at ASU.
Unbelievable.
Seriously getting it done.
Yeah.
So
I digressed.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it. Make it part of your weekend.
Love it. Well, that will be part of your weekend binge, Petey. You'll be binging.
It is part of my weekend binge, and I truly am excited to spend the weekend watching college softball, and I will be watching more than just the Arizona teams. I will be watching a lot of softball,
maybe 2 Game 7s.
But I think that is a fantastic segue to the weekend binge.
Yes. So
and I think we start with Craig again.
Okay.
Well, let me just remind everyone, if you weren't here last week, our new Friday segment, Weekend Binge, we're going to talk about what we're going to binge this weekend, which we should probably follow up, I guess, on Monday.
Oh, shows.
Yes, although
Sorry.
I did binge the Harry Styles album.
This bag away.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's Craig S. Morgan. Love it.
So, Weekend Binge, what's everybody watching this weekend? Craig?
So, several years ago when the show first debuted, my kids became huge Stranger Things fans.
Oh, I forgot that's
Stranger
back.
Things debuted at midnight.
Last night?
Yes.
Now, we didn't stay up to watch the debut because we were binging the prior season so that we could prepare
For this season.
for the drop.
But have you seen the prior season before? You're
I've seen 'em.
rewatching it.
Just, brushing
Got it.
up.
Brushing
It's
up.
been a while.
Yes.
So we'll be watching Stranger Things without a doubt. And then there's Petey, you might watch this with me. Leah probably has never heard of either of these actors, but there's an older series that's come out called Night Sky with Sissy Spacek
Yeah.
and J.K.
I know of
Simmons.
it. I have it.
I'm going
I
to
know
watch
who
that as
J.K.
well.
Simmons is,
Okay,
but I
you know
know
who J-
nothing else about what you just said.
I'm going to watch that show as well.
A little sci-fi,
So-
which could tie in as we continue down the panel.
So there you go. And then toss in a little bit of softball and maybe 2 Game 7s.
Yeah.
Love
wow.
it.
Take care of
You're
the weekend.
set.
Yep.
Wow.
We're all I completely forgot about Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to add that to my list. The other series that came out at midnight last night, the Obi-Wan, the first 2
Yes.
episodes of the Obi-Wan series on Disney
Heard
Plus.
good things.
I'm super excited. I love Star Wars. I've really liked all the show spin-offs that they've done, and I'm so excited that Hayden Christensen
He's
is
back.
reprising his role as Darth Vader. So I cannot wait for that. So those 2 are on my list. I forgot about Stranger Things, and this is what I've actively been binging all week and will continue to do so in the weekend. And you guys are gonna laugh and judge me. Love Island UK.
See, she did. She was doing so well. She was doing so well. Like
Okay, let me explain myself.
Yep. No, first off, explain what Love Island UK is.
Okay.
You're doing so well, Leah.
Okay.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
So Love Island, it's amazing. It's basically they put all these single people in this resort together and they just like date each other, and you have to be coupled up, and if you're not in a couple you can get dumped from the island. But I have to say, the UK, so they have a US and an Australia version that were spinoffs of the UK one. UK is elite. It's the 2021 season, so it's last summer's. I haven't watched it yet. So I am watching it during COVID when everything was locked down. I binged seasons 1 through 5.
Okay.
Like 100% went all in. So it's been 2 years since I've watched Love Island, and I am back watching it, and it just brings me so much joy. It is such a train wreck. It's so mindless. I love it so much.
So I will say this, and we talk about criticizing people's food choices and all that. I get it. There are all kinds of
Definition of
different
salads.
people. I get it. And I will give you this. If it gives you joy, go for it. Because in
Thank you.
the pandemic, I watched Love is Blind, where people got married that didn't see each
Did
other.
you watch season 2 recently?
I did not, because
Oh,
the
it
pandemic
was
is
so much-
officially over,
but
so I can leave my house
season 2
now.
was better.
Okay, but I can leave my house, so I don't need to add that to my
Okay.
queue. But I understand it. I do understand it, and if it gives you
It's
joy,
just-
and that's the whole point of all this stuff. It gives you joy.
Yeah.
All in.
It's so good.
Basically a modern version of like I don't know, the dating game or the newlywed game, right?
Sure.
We watched these
a little
game
sexier,
shows.
a little bit more. Yeah,
sure. Who was the host of those? Like Jim Lang and what's the guy's? Bob Eubanks? Is it Bob Eubanks?
I can't remember that. But I remember the dating game. I just don't remember the host. I remember back in 2 and 2
when they called sex making whoopee.
Yeah, back to 2 and 2. What was that show? Chuck Woolery. I'll be back in 2 and 2. What was that?
Making whoopee.
Charles Woodall Pike will know that, won't he?
This is another preview of our old versus young segment that we'll be doing at some point.
I can't even.
Okay. So now, could you put up my graphic? Not my movie, but my graphic. I surprised to no one. Oh, Love Connection. Thanks, Charles.
Oh, do we have a PD graphic again for his shows?
Once again, we missed the boat.
Oh, wait. Okay. We'll let him do that. By the way, the Chuck Woolery show where he goes 2 and 2, that was Love Connection. Remember Love Connection?
I do.
And then that similar thing as Sean gets prepared. There's a lot going on.
Oh, no.
So we have a graphic.
So,
PD, there's no
I went a little bit dark. And I know, surprise to absolutely no one.
Yes.
Black Mirror is so dark.
Craig and Leah had suggested I try Severance.
Well, Craig suggested it, and then 3 days ago I said I also suggested.
And you literally binged the whole 9 episodes.
I binged the whole 9 in like 3 days.
So we'll get to Severance in 1 second. Severance is dark, deep. That's fair. It's dark. And so I wanted to give you some sci-fi options that you don't have to binge necessarily, that are more anthology based. So if you want to pick and choose episodes. So I went really old school to a 50 show Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is on Peacock. Phenomenal. 24-minute episodes. Incredibly digestible. Great character driven. Think along the lines of The Twilight Zone. Of those kind of weird, quirky things. Have twists, have weird endings. Highly recommend it. They're much, much, much lighter. If you want the same thing, but much, 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 much darker and very current and more about our social environment and social media, Black Mirror on Netflix.
So good.
5 seasons, absolute fire. If you like Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock, those type of shows. If you have not seen Black Mirror, it is dark, and there are some episodes
that are hard
to watch.
Really difficult.
They're hard to watch, and they're depressing and meaningful and thoughtful, but very character-driven, unbelievably good anthology series, which brings me back to Severance. I watched 1 episode a few days ago. I watched 5 episodes yesterday, back to back to back to back.
Wow.
Now, if you don't know what Severance is, it's different. A little sci-fi based show. If you have seen the show, you're going to understand what's going to happen next. If you haven't seen the show, so I had a little problem because I watched 5 episodes in a row. I have a little problem separating my life from the show, similar to the characters having problems separating their work life from their personal life. And ironically enough, one of the main characters in the show's name is Petey. So this is what happened to me on my way into work today. And I will say this, a caveat, asterisk, this literally happened on my way in today. And with all the help from Leah and Max, who are the only 2 people here to help me, this was thrown together very quick. So I appreciate
very quickly.
And I all shot on my phone. This isn't a regular PHNX production.
This was filmed and directed by Petey and edited by me in 10 minutes.
Yes. So my bosses that are watching this, I understand we have a standard here at PHNX. This did not meet that. But this is me having difficulty separating my Severance binge watching life to my PHNX work life.
I feel like we should dim the lights and go big screen here.
Here we go.
It's me, Petey, from work.
Yeah, Petey, I know. We have a show in 30 minutes.
Hey, Petey, come meet me in the break room. Oh, no. Not the break room!
Petey, what is wrong with you? Craig told me to tell you that none of ours are here.
And that was me coming into work today. The break room. And if you watch Severance,
You're going to now.
You'll
have
get that.
to watch Severence.
You
You're
don't-
watching Severance.
You don't want to go.
Missing out.
You don't want to go.
And
to
by the
break
way,
room.
for those listening on audio, the end screen said PHNX Ints, where you can't separate work and sports.
PHNX are in where you can't separate work
Oh
and
my
sports.
gosh.
That was fun. That was fun. And by the way, for your weekend binge, I prefaced Severance with it's dark, it's a slow burn, and you got to think. Like it's if you're not into that, you just want some entertainment, skip this one this weekend.
If you want Love Island UK, for instance.
There you go.
If you need a palate cleanser after watching Severance, watch
cleanser,
Love
I
Island
like
UK on
that.
Hulu.
There you go. But thanks to Leah for helping me with that.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to be in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You were supposed to be telling me to go to the break room, but you weren't here on time.
You were supposed to be the one saying the Nutter
On
Butters.
here,
The Nutter
excuse me,
Butters
on time?
The Nutter Beers. You were here on
He
time.
was on time.
But you were supposed to be the one telling me that the Nutter
Here's the
Butters
thing,
were here.
Petey. If I'm going to appear in a film segment,
I know.
mean,
We need
there's
to
a lot
reach
of,
out to his
know,
agents
hair and
first.
makeup.
Have people call my agent. I need to have a session with my mental therapist.
He has a right.
with my therapist before I
Yes.
arrive to get myself in the right
We need
frame
to
of
know.
mind.
You have to have the
We'll
Nutter
do a
Butters and the
clearing
Pellegrino.
per
and-
diem,
40 degrees with a lime.
meal.
Things
Per
get
diem,
forgotten all the
craft
time,
food
and now you know
services.
why I'm stressed all the time because
Yeah.
people
And so
don't remember
Max,
the things that I need to perform.
Max, who is in charge of our sales department here, he was literally he was it. So guess what, Max?
You did great,
You're
Max.
in.
never grab somebody from the office next
You're
door.
in, Max.
Bob from Solar.
Yeah,
next
Bob
door.
from Solar down the
I'm
hall.
not making that up.
Perfect. You should have gone in the hallway exploring the other areas of the.
Yeah. So thanks, Max, for helping us out.
Oh
Taking time away from the phone.
gosh.
So anyway,
Unbelievable. I love it.
Now we can move on.
Friday
Friday
Fun
Fun
Day.
Day.
That's what it's about. And if you haven't read it already today, Craig had a story come out this morning. Speaking of reining us back in about the Tampa Bay Lightning and their playoff success, Daryl Plandowski was a part of the Tampa Bay Lightning scouting staff, and now he's part of the Arizona Coyotes scouting staff. So Craig did a deep dive on him this morning on
I got to talk to Al
GoPHNX.com.
Murray, the same position with the Tampa Bay Lightning since 2010, I think. And Al was great. I mean, it gave me some great insight on Daryl and really, really pushed him to consider this job when it came available. And look, Daryl probably would have had other opportunities. When you are when you're the head scout for the Tampa Bay Lightning chasing a three-peat, you're probably going to get other offers. But he thought he was really uniquely positioned for this because Tampa was basically in the same position. Now, Tampa actually picked first overall one year and second overall another year. So that's a difference between them and the Coyotes, who never pick in the top two.
There's
but
always next year.
they were starting from scratch. They were a bad team back then, if you remember, Petey. And they draft Stamkos, they draft Hedman. They've got two pieces, really two important pieces, but you still need to fill in around them. And who does he go get in later rounds? Mostly, you get Nikita Kucherov, you get Braden Point, you get
points, Cirelli,
Anthony Cirelli, you get Vasilevsky.
When I
with
was
the 19th
reading
pick.
the
Yeah.
list
Yeah,
of
it's-
players and where they were drafted in that article, I was like, oh my
And that's what you hope for
God.
the Coyotes, having so picks in so many rounds that you could pick those pieces that 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I know I hate to say 10 years from now, going, oh yeah, they got that guy in the third round. Remember that?
Right.
That's the pieces that you need to surround the really good pieces with to win.
Andre Palat,
Absolutely.
7th round pick.
There you go.
Wow. Amazing. So if you want to read that story and more and all of Craig's amazing writing at GoPHNX.com, become a member today, sign up for an annual membership, get a shirt from the locker. When you do, check out the PHNX merchandise locker, PHNXLocker.com. Amazing merch in there, as well as some hats. And join our members only Discord as well. We have a lot of fun chatting daily in there. All right, it's time for our final segment, and we'll bring it back to Sean.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's time
Watch
for...
Kirsten's series this weekend, by the way, too.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the story.
Listen
Weekend's
to
the first
story.
time. Listen to the story.
It's no
It'd be really hard to
videos.
watch it.
But you could
But-
watch it in your mind if you,
Yeah, you could.
can
yeah.
imagine it.
It's so good that you can
You really
visualize
can.
everything
You
happening.
really can. It's phenomenal. All right, Sean. Producer Power Play.
Yes, it's about
Let's
that
go.
time.
Friday Fun Day continues.
All
There
right.
it is.
Do I have to read?
It just says Producer
Hopefully I
Power
don't have
Play,
to
Craig.
read.
Don't worry.
I know, are you nervous again?
Oh, is that what it says?
Are you getting nervous?
I'm always nervous.
I'm so past nervous.
He told
today.
me after the first
can't
one
start
when he
the
went
clock.
easy
No,
on
he-
us
that's-
that they're going to
Restart.
get progressively harder. So
all right.
All
Seriously?
right.
no, I definitely can't read
Okay.
that. So.
It's
So,
pretty
he'll read it.
straightforward. Leah sent me this tweet, so I have to acknowledge the fact that Leah has a little bit of a head start on you guys.
Hee hee.
But it is it's a tweet from @solo.
Tony X on Twitter,
Yeah,
the St.
Tony
Louis superfan.
Yeah. He said, if there's a successful challenge that the refs miss, the ref should have to officiate the game with one less ref for 2 minutes.
Put a ref in the penalty box?
Yeah.
Basically. So that is basically my producer power play, is if you could come up with any wild rule in the NHL, what would it be? And your power play starts now.
But I think let's first stick with this, because I think that the refs should be punished. I think putting them in the penalty box is bad. I think the refs that missed this many calls should be penalized from working games, maybe in the playoffs. I think refs that miss too many or are judged to miss calls keep coming back. You see it in baseball, the umpires who miss so many strikes.
Not as fun as putting them in the penalty
They're
box.
supposed to do that. You know, they're supposed
But
to
they
evaluate
don't.
them round by
Okay.
round.
The
but-
fun rule.
Here's my fun rule. You can
Fun
get
rule.
you can get an assist on your own goal. If you
Fun rule.
pass to someone and they pass it back to you and you score, you should get the point for your goal and for your assist.
I will go the last
mine.
5 minutes of the game. There are no blue lines, and you can go off sides as much as you want. You can go all the way down to the other end of the
Okay.
ice if you want to.
Okay.
No blue lines.
I like that. That's fun.
Last 2 minutes of a game.
Okay.
Has to be less than a 2-goal differential. If it's 5-1, blue lines still exist. If it's 3-1, blue lines disappear.
Well, I have a couple. First of all, I hate the trapezoid. Let the
Yeah.
goalies play the puck. Let the goalies play
Agreed.
the puck wherever they
100%
want. Two
agree.
Yeah,
goalies here.
I like
Hate
that.
the trapezoid. I have another one statistical, though. It bothers me that shootout goals don't count for anything. They win games. I get that it's a shootout. It's not the same thing, but I feel like guys should get statistical credit
Okay.
somewhere for shootout
I'm
goals.
with that.
Yeah, I'm with that too. Can the goalies play the puck like a Mike Smith? Is he allowed to take the puck to the other end of the ice instead of pulling the goalie, leave Mike Smith in the ice
as the extra attacker.
as the extra attacker?
I'm in.
About
That's
that too?
so funny.
Yeah, let Mike. Well, shit, he can shoot better than half the guys on his team
Yeah,
anyway.
If
let him
things
go.
awry, if they turn the puck over, he can back up and play goal.
We've
So-
also talked about, we only have 15 seconds, but the 5-4-3-2-1 in overtime, 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3,
yeah,
2-on-2, 1-on-1, and then at the end it's just the two goalies.
Let's do
on
it.
each
Love it.
other.
Love it.
Love it.
Put the nets like little kids on the side.
Done.
Crushed it. Woo! That was fun.
I think that was our best producer power play, actually.
Great job. That's a good one.
The
That
best
was
of
great.
2.
I'm
Three.
That's
I'm
right.
all over the goalies being able to play the puck. I want them to be able to take face-offs. I want them to be able to go past the red line.
It's
I want
like
them to
how
be
in
able to do
baseball they
whatever
put
want.
out like the catchers to throw pitches. Why can't the
Can you imagine
goalies
that
take
goalie on goalie in overtime? It came to that, and both goalies just sit there in their nets. I'm not moving. You moving?
I'm in.
It's a mental
You
game.
go forever.
I
Yeah.
love it. Oh man.
All right.
Oh, that was a fun show. Any final notes?
I guess let's get
Before
ready
the
for more
weekend?
playoff hockey and playoff softball. Let's
Yep.
go. We'll be
Can't
back
wait.
next week. Talk about it again and how I'm wrong again.
Yeah.
But can I get all 4 wrong? I technically could, right?
You could.
I had Florida and I had Calgary.
We all had.
So I'm 0 for 2.
Yeah, we're all
definitely
over.
possible. It would be wild, and that
Jesus.
means all 4 division winners are bowing out. which
Oh
would be
yes,
crazy.
Sean just reminded me. So we had our center ice mashup challenge that we
Yes.
put out on Twitter, and the idea was, since the Coyotes can be represented on the ice.
Wait, what?
Can you believe it?
I read an article
was
about
told
that.
They couldn't.
Saw that
Yes.
on the internet.
Yes. So they can. We don't know what it's going to look like yet, so we put it out to the public. What would your ideal center ice for the ASU and Coyotes sharing an arena look like? We got some amazing submissions.
We did. We got a lot of
Unbelievable. It
good
was so
submissions.
hard to choose, and I chose. I don't know if you guys see this, but I did choose. Petey just left the room.
Okay,
Okay.
Petey's leaving the show.
Okay. Oh, he's getting some.
apparently
He's
done.
getting the
He's-
prize box. He's getting his prize box. So we have chosen the winner of the center ice mashup. I keep wanting to say
I thought the
mashup.
prize was a candlelight dinner with Sean.
Sean's girlfriend said no, so we're
Oh,
going to the
okay.
next best thing. So the winner of the center ice mashup is this one here. I
Yeah,
loved
it's
this
awesome.
one. For those listening on audio, it's the Arizona State outline, like the actual state of Arizona. And on one half, it's the Kachina. The other half, it's the Sun Devil. Craig had
Sparky.
counter-argued, will they want the pitchfork? It doesn't matter.
We don't care what ASU wants in this setting here.
So
we're just looking for the best entry. And
So
that's it. We got a lot of them.
congratulations to Jordan, the winner of the center ice. Oh my God, I cannot say it.
Center ice.
Center ice
5 o'clock Sunday.
mashup. and you win.
He gets the official Coyotes team-issued hat from the 2020 playoffs in the bubble with a little NHL Stanley Cup logo embossed in it.
Very nice.
So Jordan, DM us at PHNX_Coyotes so you can redeem your prize. Again, thank you to everyone for your submissions. They were all amazing. We should send them forward to the NHL. We'll just attach it to our weekly email to Gary Bettman on behalf of Craig, and because there were some amazing submissions, and I can't wait to see what actually comes of it.
I'll put that with the same place he puts all my other suggestions.
in the trash.
I think you're secretly running the league.
No, buddy. No.
Anyway. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Next week is exciting. The Tempe City Council will discuss the proposed arena next Thursday. So we'll be keeping tabs on that. Be sure to follow along with us at PHNX_Coyotes, at Craig S. Morgan, always on Twitter. And continue to tweet at S. Peters Hockey to do his dance that he still owes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were getting today. You said you're recording a video. You know what I thought, right? Has he seen that one yet? Which episode is that?
Oh,
yeah,
the jazz. Defiant Jazz.
That's what I thought we were
That's the dance
today.
you
just
should
had
do.
Defiant Jazz.
That's when the show went off the rails.
I love it so much.
Defiant. My wife and I are like,
What
are we watching?
Episode 6 was Defiant Jazz.
So good. Anyway, and I'm very close to I'm probably next week going to have to eat fake maple syrup on the show. So keep following us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review and follow PHNX Sports across all platforms. Lots of great content 5 days a week. As always, we'll be back next week on Monday. And until then, have a great weekend, everyone.